time to get it on. Actual episode rather than working with one line of information about each team definitely makes a difference. Also got the new, the old crew joining us. Joey in his new handmade with his own bare hands room, master suite. Too bad he couldn't get the internet over there to work too well. There he is, Joey Covino. Welcome back. James Earl, welcome back.
They never left.
Very much. Great to be here on a Friday night because I don't have anything else to do with EST.
Oh my God. This dude, it's like 12 hours a year, and the dude talks about, I got so many other commitments. Good. Can you make a 12-hour commitment a year? Leave me alone.
Here because I love you and I love the show.
I thought I said you loved me, Joey, not him.
I was speaking to
Yay!
Joey Covino, our new host, may be joining us shortly. We'll see how that pans out.
Had a rocky start to the season, but we're gonna get there.
Woo! Couldn't have been as rocky as a pair of super fans from Amazing Race that we can't wait to talk about.
I have a lot of thoughts on this episode, Justin.
I am changing my award.
Ooh.
Changing it.
You're changing it too.
I've been, the last couple of seasons, been more and more.
Shout out to Joey's internet. Welcome to AOL.
Still messing up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here in the mountains
Dude, they get the internet like in the middle of like nowhere with Elon Musk Starlink, and you're like in Boston. One of the biggest cities in America.
If it's still bad, I can change that.
You just like, you're getting all chopped up. We're gonna miss your timing, your wit, your humor.
He does have great timing. Half of Joey's charm is his timing.
His timing.
Oh, what's the other half?
It's your good looks.
You sound better now that your video's out.
Because I'm walking 150 feet to the other side of the house.
Oh, look at you. Look at this guy. You see the effort he puts in? He's walking the whole 150 feet to the other side of the house. You know that 150 feet? He built it himself with his bare hands.
Turn the camera off because he doesn't need us to see the unmentionables.
The unmentionables swinging in the breeze. All right, speaking of unmentionables swinging in the breeze, welcome everybody to the Races Recap, Season 36, Episode 1, breaking it down. Technically, this is Season 35 because it filmed before the actual 35. This was filmed in October of 2022. And finished.
It's such a long time for these racers to wait to see themselves on TV.
Almost 2 years before they get to see themselves race around the world, and they don't get paid until their show airs. So, whoever won is sitting here like, can I get paid, please? Please, before the money ain't worth anything anymore. And it filmed and finished in Philadelphia. Will the Green Team make an appearance on the final episode? Find out. All right, so this season is also, they got charter buses. You back, Joey? Okay, cool. Yeah, we're back on charter buses, charter airplanes, and a lot of self-driving.
Some of which the teams probably would have better off just walking.
Some would have been faster.
No, James Earl. Some of them can't even make it out of the gate.
This should answer all of the people who are on the Amazing Race Fans, which is the largest Amazing Race fan group on the internet. The Amazing Race Fans on Facebook. They always asking, they should do like Amazing Race golden years edition, like all senior citizens. I'm like, oh, nobody would watch. It's like watching the minor leagues play baseball. Nobody wants to watch.
I disagree.
No one
because
doesn't even
What do you mean disagree? What happens the first 5 minutes in this episode?
Want, like,
Watches
the
the
first
race.
team out. Like everyone's like, let's do a season of first outs. That sounds awful.
No, that'll be a nightmare. Look at it this way. What about the Golden Bachelor? How good is that doing?
That's okay, but it's what about any sport that doesn't highlight its best players? What is it doing?
This
Nothing.
isn't a sport.
It's the same thing. If you're highlighting
Hey,
lesser
this season
quality
did not
players,
necessarily highlight its best players. Jim.
you have no idea. You watched one episode and you were probably half twisted, worried about building a yard, building something for your new yard.
I am terrible. I do the cast assessment. What I got to go on was the intros. There was no bios. So I'm going to go on what I saw in the first episode. And what I saw, Asta.
It's going to be all South America, Central America. 2 new countries, though. They managed to fit in 2 new countries this year, which is going to be Dominican Republic and Barbados. This is all information that's been out, so I'm not like leaking anything or spoiling anything. This is stuff they've talked about.
Racers watching right now hate me for the first weeks, like every racer's. But then I become best friends with them all because it is brutally honest. And I get called out on it, and I face the music with, and
somewhere along the line, you felt you had to be a dick to fit in. You don't have to be a dick
you
to
know
fit
what it was?
in.
I wasn't being enough dick.
I mean, if Pod and Kettle ever met, Justin, that statement is it.
Right?
I feel like Joey says things just to be a dick. You know who's not a dick?
No, I don't, Justin. And this is the reason. I think we're all dick. You want everyone to be in your own little world. You want everyone to be the same. This is why my wife married me, because I want to meet different people. I want people to disagree with me, and I want to disagree with them. That way I can say, oh, gee, I don't like the paintings behind you. But you know what? Maybe they were his. Maybe I can appreciate it better when
You just said, I want to disagree with them. Like,
yeah, I want to disagree with people because it makes people interesting. You sit there and agree with everyone in the world. You just go through life agreeing, and nothing's difficult. Or you don't have to explain yourself, or you don't have to make a point. Then what's the sense of living?
well, it's just
You want to disagree with me, Joey?
My wife will not allow it.
I want to disagree with people, okay? I don't got anybody else to disagree with anymore. I can't disagree with my wife.
Prove them all wrong.
We prove them all wrong. Like, it would be great to see Amazing Race old people. Within the first 2 episodes, you're gonna see.
All right, let's end this episode.
2
Justin.
people down of heat exhaustion. All right, let's shout out Ray Fletcher dropping a 20 banger, setting stage. Here we go, episode 1, 20 Scatos. Arnold DeLeon just chipping in for Joey's internet. $20. Joey's got like 3 pensions and 6 jobs and 14 degrees now. I don't know what's going on over there. He's just collecting things. He's collecting things to put on his wall just so for his man cave. Let me get a degree I'm never going to use. Let's go get one.
Did you just try to put brakes on your car, by the way?
I just did put brakes on my car. I got a degree.
Did you see that? He had to walk to the store because he didn't have a wrench. Brakes on his car. Not to clean the glass windows, to put brakes on the car.
On the car.
Never did that before.
On the car. Put brakes on the car. Listen, I got beautiful, soft hands made for internet jobs and speaking on the radio jobs. All right, let's get into the episode, or we'll never get to the finish of it here. We're starting for the second time ever outside of the United States. We're starting in Mexico. That's pretty cool. I think that's awesome when they don't start in the United States. That's awesome. Woohoo! Ricky and Caesar actually were just here, so they are very familiar with the area. One of the best things that stood out to me from the whole entire episode was right in the beginning when the teams actually got to introduce themselves and show a little bit about who they are before you even start the race. So you have an instant chance to like fall, I like them. Something to grab onto as a fan, as a listener. somebody who gets to talk about the show, it's good to see right from the beginning you learn a piece of information. I hope they continue to do that throughout the regular seasons. So teams must choose a marked vehicle in a hotel parking lot. So you just run to a marked vehicle. But the whole entire leg, the only reason people got beat was navigation. None of the tasks mattered really because of how bad navigation was. But there was a choice that if you did make it, you did have a clear advantage. So we'll start. The teams really start off just running to the marked car, and we already have one sighting of fans of the Racers Recap. You look at Victor and Amber and one backpack. Clearly, they listen to the show, which is backed up by DMs going back 3 years now.
They also, if they listen to that comment, there's some other things they didn't quite listen to.
Yeah, definitely. This later in the episode.
I will say, globally for this episode, this is lead 1, and there were some teams making mistakes like they were really exhausted on lead 10.
Yeah.
That worries me for some teams that are making like some fundamental issues. When you're
Wait,
like,
Ginger, when did you say they were
energetic.
exhausted?
What did you say?
Did you say they were exhausted?
No, I'm saying they're making mistakes like they are exhausted on lead 10.
They were exhausted.
It's lead 1.
What?
It's lead 1.
It's leg 1, and there were at least 5 teams who were huffing and 10 minutes.
It's Vinny, and not Victor and Amber. I said, I know because Victor's in chat. All right, well, listen, okay, my head. Hey, it's the first episode. Vinny, hey, Vinny. I actually wrote down Victor in my notes too. That's probably why.
I understand your point, Joey. My point is that there are some fundamental flaws with some stuff going on.
So what was the fundamental flaw of 60-year-old Chris starting the race, busting his face?
I felt so bad for him there. He was trying his little hardest.
Joey, what did you feel at that situation?
Well, my wife told me that was good friends of her good friend from work. I figured I had to give it up for the hometown team. And then 2 seconds later, he's face planting. And I'm like, geez, what is happening here? And I see him with a mask.
This goes back to the comment I made of Ricky and Caesar. Chris and Mary are not going to win this race in a foot race. They got to find advantages other ways. So
they're not going to win this race, period.
My point is, if they want to win this race, it's not going to be in a foot race. So, don't bust yourself with that one. Don't hurt yourself there. But I did feel so bad for him when he busted his face and he was apologizing to his daughter.
Well, his backpack was heavy and it was top heavy. 2 things you don't want when you're a 60-year-old racer. Joey,
I hear you, Joey.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I distinctly heard for all those haters out there, heard, "Come on, Dad, hurry up, Dad." I heard it about 2. Now, why is not the interwebs just blowing up with pure hatred? Who I don't think she deserves it at all. Wonderful person. Any friend of my wife has got to be a. But why isn't the interweb blown up on how mean she is and what a spoiled brat she is?
Because for the majority of the time she was saying, it's okay, Dad, we could slow down, no problem, because she really wasn't, for the majority of the time, rushing him. She was telling him it's okay to slow down, which is 100% the difference between last year and this year. But it's also going to get them finishing bottom 3 as opposed to finishing in the top and being one of the better racers. So that's the difference between somebody saying it's okay to be weak and slow, Dad, and just not be in a race and walk during an amazing race, not the amazing walk. And then they're not going to finish the race as high because there's no.
Yeah, but you know what?
No push.
The trolls are gonna, the muggles are gonna love them. You know what? If someone's climbing up their eye in there, good. You're out. But again,
in all fairness, I was an Annalise Stan last season. Remember, for the record, I distinctly said that she was one of the individual strongest racers on that season.
And I agree, and so does Jen.
Leticia's in the house. Be careful, Joey, because she could beat your ass in real life.
Oh, I would be scared of her.
She's jacked.
I actually really enjoyed that team for the record too.
Wait,
I
which
didn't know
one?
how
Wait,
I was
wait.
gonna.
Rod's wife.
I
But
watched.
I do.
Who is it? Rod's wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, he's 6'3" and wide, and she stands next to him, and you could just see she's not like some little.
She's a badass too.
Yeah,
She's a badass.
she's ready to go. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. All right, let's get it on. All right, so teams must choose the marked car. So Chris Falls, he's okay though, but they definitely can't win. Karishma tells you a sad story about her mom, so we start to fall in love with the team because of the backstories. Then she leaves the keys in the car, has to run back to the car, watching every other team pass her. Danny is a super fan since 13 years old. Already, the cry counter is at 1, and at his first confessional, and he's already crying.
I'm sorry, are we talking about James Earl Jr.?
James Earl
I only cried
Jr.
once or twice on the race. When I thought I was eliminated, I was eliminated.
We need to have Mom on this season.
Oh
I will
man,
not watch anything, and we need to have Mom on. Point out some motherly. In fact, she's going to take my award.
your mother, James
Yeah.
Earl's mother.
I'm just going to take Joey's award. That episode. I probably won't.
The one thing I will say, and I enjoy Angie and Danny, I think they're going to struggle with what I've said, like parent-child teams struggle with. I think she is there to like fulfill a son's dream, and that's what she's saying. But like, you got to be partners in this race too. Like, that's the one thing that worries me with this team.
Yeah, I mean,
Not to worry me about that team.
they have a great story. They seem really sweet, but I don't see things like looking at them like Joey.
Oh, thank you. Again, we've all been through casting. We know how casting works. And it just seems to me, and I might be wrong. I'm always wrong at cast assessment, but I am entitled. I believe I've earned it. In casting, they always say, don't talk about what you're doing for someone else. Or why you do, I want to do it for my grandmother. I want to do it for this one. I want to do it for my, what makes you exciting? Did casting lose sight of that? Like, grab that, or, because everyone's like, get it. Get it, because like you said, the thing with her mom, and I get that, everything, and then she doesn't read her clue right off the bat, and then her partner's like, I know this is gonna be a
But
problem.
just remember, Joey, all of us are tasked by a different person.
Yeah, but it's also the first leg. So if you're gonna make mistakes, you can make mistakes. Even things that you know that you should automatically know, you don't, and you just get
I
shook.
agree, and as a capper, I am entitled. I'm just royally.
Right.
So
Moving on.
let's go
All right,
to.
we're taking about as long as Maya and Rohan did to get to the first clue. So let's get to the first.
So yeah, so Joey, second favorite team, Maya and Rohan looking. They took different languages in school to prepare for this. That's how long they've been super fans of the show. They took different languages in school so they would know more different languages for the race. Just before they
we didn't skip that team. We did not see them get to the clue box until an hour into the episode.
Let's
move on.
They
Yeah,
take a driving lesson too with the.
they went to Austin Powers School of Driving. So instead of using the R, I know Lewis from Lewis and Michelle had a hard time finding the R on a car to go in reverse, and Michelle had to get out and push. So, but this team didn't want to go in reverse. They wanted to make the U-turn and prove that they could do it. Just prove to themselves that they could do it. And they did it 2 hours later. All right, so Chris and Mary park, and then they get lost walking to the detour. So everybody's getting lost either walking or driving in this episode. The first detour, pick them up or put them down or pin them down. All right, so there was 8 teams wrestling. You had to identify 5 of them. Or you had to go and get a horse and from the top of a hill and drag it down to another place. 9 teams chose the horse.
You know what shocked me a little bit, and I liked it. It was a good shot for me. was Rod and Letitia, who is the NFL and badass wife that you know are going to just pick the physical one, went for the mental game. I kind
Yeah.
of liked it. It was a nice surprise.
And the 60-year-old and 50-something-year-old went for the physical labor. Like, and
I love it.
and the jacked team goes for the memory challenge. What the hell's going on here?
Well, the Jack team in an NFL player, like you had the plays you got to memorize, the got to do. That's
No,
a
I'm saying that as a compliment, Joey. I am.
Oh yeah, no, I agree that. I'm just shitting.
I will say, Justin, you and I know how hard it is to push wheels on gravel. I felt for those teams. We had to do that in Poland with those pianos, and that was miserable.
Hard
So I
times.
can feel that.
Yeah. Oh, Leticia. Not T, it's Thesia.
Leticia. I apologize, Leticia.
She said,
Oh, that's right.
don't make me say it again. No, I'm just
I won't.
I'm just
Leticia. Leticia.
all right. So
No, it's Leticia, not Sia.
Sia.
Leticia.
Leticia. Y'all killing my name.
I'm sorry.
Look here, Leticia.
I'm sorry. Listen, y'all were in the
Orange
y'all got
team.
First, you were in the episode for like this much. Y'all got to the finish line, so I didn't hear your name a lot.
Oh, I love y'all. This is Mike. This is going to be one hell of a season. And wait till you see where the fourth co-host is currently when she finally shows up. This will be very interesting. All right, Pin 'em Down was 10 times faster. Anybody that went to Pin 'em Down finished faster. The first, I think 4 of the first 5 teams to finish the race did Pin 'em Down. It sounded like it was going to be a lot more difficult and more of a brain challenge, where the other one seemed like it was going to be a lot more straightforward. But only having to do 5 teams out of the 8 did not seem like it was going to take you too long. 5 minutes in between shows. You know, if you could watch it 10 times, and it takes you less than an hour if you have to watch it 10 times. So it seemed like the faster one. And if you look at how people finished the race, it was definitely the faster one. All right, but there were 9 teams that went for the horses, which means 2 teams had to go and change things up. The judge from the Luchador contest was probably the best judge. Early favorite for best judge of the season already, but he came in pretty strong. Okay, with the horses, considering that 7 teams took the horses, how many cars do you think got hit by falling horses on the cobblestone?
I'm pretty sure we saw like 2 in the episode.
If that's all they have hours of footage, and if they couldn't find footage without hitting the cars, imagine how many cars they were hitting going down the hill. What are we playing? Over under on 6 cars hit.
I don't think they would ever want to view that if I put that footage out there. Then they'll have to go back and pay some damages. They'd be like, "That's what happened to my car."
Isn't it the versus the? Can you get away from me? Just get away from me.
That was Amber and Vinny. 100% was Amber and Vinny. Again, we're in like
Yeah, that's the
one.
anesthesiologist. Nurses.
Yeah, the nurse anesthetist, correct. We're in like 1. These teams.
Yeah.
Here's my thing.
They're
So like
battling.
it is way too early in the race to be at your teammate's throat, not to be reading the clue, just like be giving up when you get lost. Like some of the teams that are making like fundamental race errors on lead 1,
Yeah.
I worry for.
That's pretty scary.
This is my
The fatigue is going to set in. Like you haven't spent the 14 hours on the airport floor, spending 6 hours on a flight in the middle seat to then race. Like you haven't hit that point in the race yet.
This is
Yeah,
gonna.
you're
This
right.
is a
You've
mega
had
leg, so they're
1,000
gonna.
calories.
The next leg's gonna be worse. It's a mega leg. They're not gonna get a chance to shake this shit
That's
off.
what I'm saying. You haven't got to the point where you've had 1,000 calories in the last 3 days and you're starving.
Joey,
You had some sponge thing on the airplane, and that's all you've had to eat in a day and a half.
what are you thinking, Joey? You're impressed with this cast early on.
I just don't. That was my point out. James Earl is much more eloquent, and that's what I mean when casting. It's like You know you're coming on the race. Do you know like you go to backstory, okay, but why are you here if you're not prepared? Like you just want to. I don't get it. Like there always seems to be someone like, well, I'm doing this because my partner wants to do it. I want to live that. That's why my season was the way it was because Tara told me so many times, but they didn't want her husband. Like, they wanted her, so they got a chance to put her on. Like, you know, I didn't really sign up with anyone because I have no friends, but so it worked out for me.
Right.
It's like you, Justin. They wanted Diana, and they had to drag your sorry ass along, and it worked out for you guys. But one of us had something to the table. I'm failing to see what a lot of teams what they're bringing. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. It's like one, and people are dying.
People are dying. It's hotter than they expected, and they picked the. If it was that hot, though, why did 9 teams pick the challenge that was going to make you sweat? And if it was hot,
Mexico.
I was about to say, our
Do you
first
go
leg
to
was in
Death Valley and not
Brazil.
bring
It
water?
was hot. We dealt with it, but it is the first leg.
Right.
and
Right.
It's
And
not
you've been
going
in
to
a
get
hotel
easier.
for
It's
5
going to
days
get
eating.
exponentially harder.
Chat is going crazy about keep on racing leg versus mega leg. I will break it all down at the end of this episode and give you the definitive answer on if this was a mega leg. Even though Phil said it was a mega leg, was it actually a mega leg, a keep on racing leg? There's a couple different things that distinguish them. We'll go over each and every one of them. You will have a definitive answer at the end of this recap. Let's continue. Getting to the roadblock. Are you feeling loopy? I know he said Joey felt loopy in Vietnam. All right. The team member assigned to this roadblock must jump through 7 spinning lassos. This had to be made 100% for the jump roping team. Easily going to nail it on the first try, right? They're professional jump ropers. 100% for the jump roping team. Easily going to nail it on the first try, right? Uh-oh.
That's someone. That's a viewer.
That's a viewer?
Pretty sure it is.
Uh-oh.
That's someone.
Does that all the time.
That's a viewer? We're just on a scale of 1 to disconnect. All right, come on. There's that other spot is for our final host for this season. All right, who's feeling loopy? This is definitely made for the people who jump rope for a living. What you have to do is jump through 7 ropes. All right, so you would think so. But the people who do the jump roping for a living took them 8 tries to get through.
You know, it took 19 tries and then still had to redo it because she didn't read the clue.
So Karishma broke rule number 1. Read the clue, read the clue, read the clue. Forgot her neckerchief. So First roadblock. Forgot her neckerchief. She got it on her 19th try. It took her 19th try to get it. But because she didn't have a neckerchief, she had to go and do it again. Had to get a neckerchief and do it again. Finally got it on her 23rd try.
You know what I quite enjoyed during this one was Rod when he was like, a bid dive, make him small, or make him big, make him big.
Oh, yeah, make him big. This dude is 6'3", and he's wide as a truck. He's just like, his shoulders just like this.
So
listen,
I could have drove the Queen Mary through. He was jumping through like,
get out
I
of
don't
here.
remember which of the people did it, but between Juan and Shane, whoever did it was like hurtling through like a
Juan, yeah. I think Juan beasted it, but you want to know? Let's surprisingly see who beasted. You would think that Michelle and Sean, jump ropers, they took them 5 tries. It actually took them 5 tries to get through. The professional jump ropers. Karishma 23 times. Juan and Shane, you know, in incredible shape. The military team took them 3 tries. Sunny and Busy, firefighters, 3 tries. I'm sorry, not 3 tries, 2 tries. It took both of those teams 2 tries. But 3 different teams got it on their first try. And you will never believe the third one coming up after you make a donation to the fund below. No. Anthony and Bailey, the twins, got it first try. Vinny and Amber got it first try. Rohan and Maya Got it.
Let's be honest. By that
First
point in time,
try.
production was just so tired of playing that song that they were like, just let them go through.
Rohan and Maya got it first try. Represent Rohan and Maya. At least they got something they can say, yo, we beasted that challenge. Beasted it.
Again, I think the Lasso guys were a little...
They beasted the challenge. You better recognize the skills. Recognize the skills.
You know what we vastly underestimated based off their precast assessment, Justin? And we haven't mentioned them yet this episode.
Ricky and Caesar?
Ricky and Caesar.
Yeah, they
Holy moly.
They were solid the whole leg.
Holy moly.
Solid the whole leg. Easily.
They were on Rod and Leticia's ass that whole time.
Yes, and not in a good way.
Sure, it's true.
It was if you would have put the task up and be like, what two teams are going to fight it out for first place in the first episode? I would not have read Ricky and Caesar, but holy moly.
No. Clearly it's Chris and Mary versus Maya and Rohan. Yeah. Yo, Louis Colon is in the house. He's so late. You know who he's not later than? Maya and Rohan still have not showed up to the pit stop for like
to be honest,
2 years later.
You were watching people roadblock, and it went back to them in their car, and I went, I forgot they were a team.
Oh, Mike B in the house, double Dutch messing up, wasn't there? An ice hockey task and ice hockey players best. Yes, a lot of times people's profession comes into play, and they absolutely did terrible at it. Just like the first chef on Survivor couldn't cook rice and nobody wanted him to cook anymore. All right, so the roadblock was pretty simple, straightforward. Just jump through the 7 hoops without hitting it and without knocking over hats. Most teams got it within 11 tries, I'd say. There was at least like 3 teams that took at least 10 tries to do it. All right, and then teams must make their way to Plaza Larcos to check in, where Rod and Leticia, don't say Ticia because she will arm wrestle you. No, they finish in first place, and what do they win? Tell us what they won. What did they win, James?
Won nothing.
They won absolutely nothing. You know how terrible that is for the first leg of the race? You win the first leg of the Amazing Race. Joey, how exciting is it? Winning first leg of the Amazing Race, you win the first, and they're like, what did we win? What do we win? Keep on racing. You win nothing. And I will say,
I think all of us have done a continuation led, right? I know Justin has. Did y'all, Joey?
Yeah, and Iceland. I run to the top of the mountain. Dead.
You were tired. You were tired when you hit that mat. We actually had 2 of them on our season. You hit that mat and you're ready to break, and you're like, I'm doing a whole nother ledge.
We had flew Dar es Salaam, Tanzania to Norway, and then we were overnight in Norway. So a double leg in Norway, and then a key race. And after we raced Redmond, that mountain.
Our worst one, we had 2. One was in Africa, which wasn't awful. The one that really killed us is right after the double lead in Africa, we had another double lead where we started in Africa, went to Paris, ended up in Rotterdam. It was like a 3.5 day lead, like between the 2 leads, it was like 3.5 days. Literally, we got to the hotel and production was like, hey, we're thinking about doing like a pasta meal. And literally the 6 teams that were left were like, no, we're just going to sleep.
We want to sleep. Free meal is great, but we want to sleep.
We slept in tents. By a river. It was 35 degrees down there.
He slept on a bar.
The top of a bar. On the roof of a bar. That's where we slept.
Literally. In between, on the ledge, we did one and went to the nets. And they're like, hey, you're going to go to this boat and sleep. And we're like, cool. It was a freaking bar. Nightclub. Boom, 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 boom. You're trying to sleep on the top.
But you sound like Goodwill Hunting.
So my point is, for these teams, I can't imagine the first leg ever not to become 2.
So even though that it is a keep on racing leg, every leg of this race, somebody will be eliminated, which is Maya and Rohan, who finished 3.5 days after everyone else. They finally got there. No, they were. I hate when superfan teams go home this early because they really care. They care a lot more than some of the teams that may have gotten recruited.
They're all brother and sister, like they should have ever been. Yeah, I'm gonna say.
He did not have the fire to win this race.
Not this early, but that's something that I think, with a win under their belt, they could have developed it.
Insane.
You gotta hit the ground running.
Are you insane? Mike in the house.
The ground running. And you can
It's the amazing race. If you've been working for your whole life, get on it. Why aren't you hitting the ground running backwards with your hair on fire? We're just gonna ease into it a little. See how that goes.
So all the teams check in, and the final 3 teams: Chris and Mary, Amber and Vinny, Maya and Rohan, finishing off.
You know what worries me about Chris and Mary? They had a language advantage in this race, or in this leg, and they still struggled.
Yeah, he could not catch his breath. He could not catch his breath, and I think we're going to see in the next episode from the previews, the 60-year-old and the 50-something-year-old both pass out from heat exhaustion in the same leg.
Those are the cops, right?
Well, one is the mom.
No, she's talking about Angie. He's talking about the parents.
Mother, son, and the father, daughter. The mother and father both drop in the preview from heat exhaustion.
The retired cops. One's
Oh yeah, Derek and
talking about
Shalisa. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about them for a second. Obviously they're both alphas, both cops. They both done very well. Both see him. He's like, "All right, we're gonna go that way." They never seemed to be on the same page. And when they got on the mat, I saw this. They pissed their pants. He walked over. They get to the mat. He's like, "Yeah. That's it. Even he goes to the fist bump, and she's like,
I like them.
dying laughing. He's like,
I like that team though too.
So do I. I'm definitely rooting for them for a reason. Older, powerful, they're married. They're like works or something.
So Phil said this was a mega leg. So I repeated that on social media. James Wallington made sure that I knew this was not a mega leg. So looked into it. There is definitive answers for it, which are the answers that I thought were I wanted to make sure there was nothing different. So there are 3 different types of legs that are not regular, which is 1, a non-elimination leg, which is a normal length leg with no elimination at the end. Teams are not told in advance, and the last team arrived gets penalized in some way. A keep on racing leg is 2 legs with no rest period in between. It's not 1 leg, it's 2 legs. Teams are not told in advance, and there is a pit stop at the end of the first leg. Whoever comes in last is not eliminated, and they're instructed to keep on racing, no penalties. All right. There's been one exception where a team's been eliminated, and that's going to happen again this season. A mega leg. It's 1 leg that's double length. 2 roadblocks, 2 detours. Teams are told in advance. Phil does not show up at the midpoint. It's officially considered 1 leg. It's 2 episodes long. Navigation's usually what kills teams, and that's what killed teams in this episode as well. So that is what makes a mega leg. This was definitely not a mega leg. It was just a keep on racing leg. So now you know. Definitive answer. You can clip that and send it to your friend if they start talking junk on social media. You got that. Just clip it right now. All right. We'll give away some our prizes here at the end. But let's quickly talk about the next week's preview. In another episode in Puerto Vallarta, I assume it's going to be 2 episodes per city, or 2 legs per city. Karishma and Kishore are doing a roadblock before a detour, and it sounds like they have to go back because they came to the wrong. They're at the
I am hoping and praying for that team that is just some bad editing, because if in lead 1 you don't read a clue, you have to redo a task, and in lead 2 you just show up to a random task and start doing it, they're not meant for this long in this race.
And we're going to redo our top 3 if anybody wants to make any changes, so we could redo that at the end of this as well. Yes, I agree. It shows Michelle and Sean. Maybe the same thing happened to them, because it shows Michelle wiping paint off Sean's face, saying, oh no, cleaning off his face entirely. So it could be related to that, or it could be that she totally messed up something and had to redo it from the beginning, but problems happen.
You know what also is terrifying about that statement? The implication where they're like, no detour before roadblock. That means somehow they haven't done the detour when other teams have completed the detours and are in the middle of the roadblock task when you show up to it.
Yeah,
the implications of that are terrifying.
Yeah, it does not look good for them. Okay, also, we see the heat taking a toll on the older teammates. 60-year-old Chris, 55-year-old Angie dropping because of heat. Amber and Vinny, you see them worried as well. This is an episode full of people who are going to be worried. You know who's not worried? Joey Cavino. Either way, I vote Rod for the challenge. He can represent the Amazing Race on the challenge any day of the week. Have fun with that.
I think Leticia can too.
Yeah, go for it. I'm all about it. I would love to see that happen. This way, we could have somebody who's above 6 feet tall actually represent for the Amazing Race. Now we actually just need some numbers, but we do need some big muscle, unlike Joey Cavino. No, Joey. So what are you thinking for this episode? You want to change your award?
Oh yeah. I'm going back to the basics. Apparently, sorry, I got one's really great with that. Yeah, my last year's award, well, last few IRA, the Experience Relationship Advice, feeling like nice and all that. And let me know.
That's when you fell in love. So you were, all your endorphins were high.
I'm still very much in love, sir. Very much in love. In fact, I can't wait to get rid of you people so I can go sit on the couch and my Friday night.
Oh, must be nice. Have so much extra free time. Sorry.
Not bad when you're retired, sir. But yeah, it's who do I hate the least this week?
Who do I hate the least? It's not Lynette Porter, because she wants to chip in $19.99 for your internet, Joey.
Oh, we love Lynette for Joey's.
Joey's probably got access to the best internet because he's in like the biggest city. He just chooses not to have.
Go to Harvard and MIT.
This dude is right next door to MIT. They got like laser internet. What are you talking about? They got like future shit.
They're stealing my internet.
Oh,
this season, I really want to.
Oh, the good thing about this is we hear less of you. Louis Colon chipping in 99 cents.
Every little bit helps. Lou. Wife says hi.
Tough times down in Miami. You know what I mean?
I have to say the shout out that I'm going to give today goes to Maya and Rudolph or whatever.
Maya and Rudolph, come on, Maya and Rohan, you better put some respect on his name. He was the best at the roadblock, literally.
He was the best because they made a lasso so thick that the Queen Mary could sail through there sideways.
Oh, I got something so thick. It's the lasso. The lassos were the same size. Come on, they couldn't make them, but only so big.
Look at it again. One dragged across the ground.
He's just a small guy. He's a smaller stature. He just did it right.
He's not a small guy.
He represented. Don't.
He's got a head on him.
Put some respect on his name.
I think this is to go on the I would probably murder them on the planet. So
Say
kudos to
Maya
them.
and Rohan are lit, no cap.
I'm not sure you know what those words mean, Justin.
I don't. I do know is they took language lessons when they should have taken driving lessons.
Yeah, navigation got the last like 4 teams are all at the bottom because of navigation errors.
Can I give my seal clap?
Of course, give your seal clap. Represent.
I'm going to do my seal clap. My seal clap is going to Rod and Leticia. Not for the moment you think of. It's for the moment they choose and rock out the memory challenge. When you're looking at a team that I think is going to try to physically dominate the team, and it made me so excited that they chose a memory challenge, knocked it out the park, caused them to get first place. And
they were also tuned in together.
I loved it. It was such a pleasant surprise. And it was from my bias of them, not because they were incapable of it, but because what I was expecting of that. And I loved being surprised.
Nothing to do with Rod lifting his shirt and flexing his muscles at the wrestlers.
Well, they didn't show that part. If they had shown the other angle, I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. And my Superfan Award is 100% going to Amber and Vinny, because obviously, I don't know, every season I say it 10 times, why you have 2 backpacks, bro? I mean, come on, it's 2024. They make clothes thin enough for men and women that you don't need 2 backpacks. You can have nice clothes that dry fast, which is what you want, clothes that dry fast. So, yes, Amber and Vinny getting that Superfan Award because they got 1 backpack. Hopefully they can learn to drive better next episode.
You remind me of my top 3. I want to know if I want to change them.
Yes, your top 3 were Maya and Rohan, Chris and Mary, and Karishna and Karishna. No,
that was my bottom 3. That was 100% my bottom 3.
Yeah, I think you had Rod and Leticia. You went to Bros, right?
Had Juan and Shane. The third team is one I can't remember.
Juan and Shane, and the third team you had representing was might have been one of the same ones as me though. I don't know if you went Amber and Vinny.
Amber and Vinny. I did go Amber and Vinny.
Yeah, so Amber and Vinny, Juan and Shane, and those are both the same with me. But you had Rod and Leticia, and I didn't.
We can change them this week, but not any other week, correct?
Right, correct. Because now you've had a chance to see them race. You don't want to see whether they're going to hit their stride or not.
Amber and Vinny are out.
Amber and Vinny are out. Oh damn.
Ricky and Caesar are in.
Ricky and Caesar are in. Joseph, what are you looking at for your top 3?
Auden Lefebvre.
All right, I'll give you a second to think about it.
Marshall now. A second, the third one.
We only heard half of one. All right.
I'm gonna go with the grandparents, the cops.
The corps. You're going corps. You're going firefighters, and you're going military because that's what.
No, the firefighter girls. The firefighter girl.
Busy and Sunny. Busy and Sunny are in, and the cops are out.
Yeah, and they're gonna be 4th though.
They're gonna be 4th. Okay. So we'll see how that plays out. I still got hope in Amber and Vinny. I don't. Juan and Shane. Juan and Shane worried me a little, but they still pulled through and got 4th. So I'm gonna keep them up at the top. And I am going to ditch my firefighter girls, and I'm going to jump on the Ricky and Caesar bandwagon.
Y'all are sleeping on Rod and Leticia.
No, I just think like if there's
Rod and Leticia.
If there's a U-turn, this 100% that's the team people are U-turning. Like, I just have a feeling that might get them. I don't know if there is a U-turn this season or not, but if there is, I mean, that's who you're U-turning, right? I mean.
Oh, 100%.
Who's going to be in front of them?
You just got to get in front of them right before the detour, which, you know, Ricky and Caesar did, but Rod and Leticia passed them.
And his Rod has got Ricky and Caesar headlock.
This is not old school Survivor where they used to, like, you know, be able to grab each other and throw each other around. This is Amazing Race.
Scott Struzzulo hip checked the filter girls right off the board. and Mexico. It was like a pen just spinning in the
air. So what did you guys think overall of this episode? I know, Joey, that you were like super excited for this season. You love the teams that are participating, and you're really looking forward to how this is going to play out, right?
I am super excited for this. I like the internet was saying that like the old, really do like the old normal people, but you know, or you do this. It's always good to have a couple in there. I'm hoping for the best, obviously, but I'm obviously going to give my opinions. I've always been known for my opinions. They've always been having that agreeable, but I'm hoping to someone to prove me wrong. I really do.
Yeah, every season they do, because
every season they do.
Every season they do, because your picks usually don't hold up. So we'll see how this plays out. It could be a very interesting season. You would think in an all South America edition that speaking Spanish would be a huge advantage, but I think 6 teams speak Spanish of the 6 of the 12 teams, so at least half of them speak fluent Spanish. So we'll see if that comes into play. I can't wait to go to Dominican Republic where we got married to see how that plays out. But everybody, what you got questions in chat? You want to the heart. I got questions in chat. Whatever, send it to us on social media. We love you. We appreciate you. We are on all your podcasting platforms, and I guess our new host won't be here until next week. She likes to keep you waiting. Diva status is basically what happened. She was just like, "Excuse me, I only work once a week." No, it's not. It was just a little confusion.
She's a queen. Leave her alone.
A little confusion. I cannot wait for her to jump on the show, so I guess she'll be here next week. Joey, we appreciate you. Hopefully school doesn't get in the way. And I know you want 6 more degrees before you call it quits.
College.
You gotta rack up some more student debt. No, I'm just joking. I just finished paying off my old school loan so I can get some new ones now. That's how this works. I need a loan to pay off. That's what dads do.
Listen, Daddy don't have loans. Daddy just pays cash.
Daddy got GI Bill, son. Let me go. He's got corpse. He's got free school for corpse. James L., did you pass that big test that you took, or did you epically fail?
All done with tests. Forever done.
Congratulations. Ricky and Caesar in chat. Epics. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Ricky and Caesar are in my top 3 now. I don't know if you caught that.
Yes. Team Retail Love in chat.
I love those guys.
Team Croqueta chat. Make sure you check out their podcast. They have a lot of fun.
Ricky and Caesar, you guys are in my top 12.
Top 12. Top 12. You are number 1 best dressed. If we all agreed on that. You definitely won best dressed this season. But no, everybody, thank you so much for your donations. Thank you so much for the most important thing that you have, which is your time. We really appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out with us. We love doing this. The Amazing Race is our favorite show, and we get to nerd out and talk about it with other people who love the show just as much as we do. So thank you again for supporting us and for liking, subscribing, sending it to your friends, and having Grandma join us in chat, because you know nobody does better with the grandma demographic than Joey Covino. So send your old grandmas to chat here so they can fall in love with Joey Covino. He reminds them of somebody from The Young and the Restless, they've never been young on that show. They've been old for 50 years. All right. Have a great time. We love you. We'll see you next week. Amazing Race. Later.